what happens is when you keep feeding our people this poison, you have them believing that they don't read really well, they don't compute really well, and then they think that they are hopeless and that they gotta do it now. They gotta hustle now. They have no faith in the system, and they shouldn't. Right. They know that there's a higher probability of their brothers, cousins, fathers, and uncles going to prison than to Princeton. So they know that.
You're saying prison and prison. So let me ask you this: do you think the system adds on the toxic masculinity?
I know that the system takes the notion of toxic masculinity and uses it against Black boys in a way that no one else does. What it does is it justifies. We're talking about 5-year-olds here. I just need people to understand. Little cherub cheek, little chubby face, little boys, suspending and expelling. I was kicked out of pre-K. I was removed from it. I was removed.
Right.
Because they felt that my behaviors were so problematic that they had to kick me out of pre-K. I was 4. What the hell?
The alternative school, all middle school, just so you know.
so you understand, but you understand what I'm saying.
And then the thing was, when I went to alternative school, it was end up to be the special ed class because they didn't have any other rooms. But just imagine what that does to you mentally. Not that there's a problem with you being in with kids that are at that learning level, but that's where they put.
But it is though. No. But it is. But it is. No. But it is. Because what happens, and I need people to understand this. This is one of the reasons why I deeply love and respect who you are, and I mean this sincerely, brother. It's not just what I'm saying to you; it's what I say about you, and that's what I say about you. Is how much I deeply love and respect the work that you do. So let's just stay here for a second. In those classrooms, in that school. Let's say other kids are learning to, let's say y'all are learning to count to 10. The kids in the regular ed or advanced classes are learning to multiply by 10.
Right.
Their mind is being built up where their confidence is being built up. When you build up somebody's confidence, you build up their competence. When you think you can learn to read, write, and compute, you take on tough topics like calculus. But when you don't think you can do it, you won't even try it. So what they've done is what Carter G. Woodson talked about in The Miseducation of Negro. They send us to the back door so many times that when there is no back door, we will cut one for ourselves. We don't even understand sometimes how we as a community buy into this foolishness. How many times have we seen or said about a Black-run business? You know Negroes own that. Right. Because it's bad. When we see a child who's African-American doing poorly in school, badass kids. Whoa, they're kids, man, stop. What are you talking about? Right. What are you talking about? Let me tell you what happened. In one of my schools, just true story. I met this young brother in Atlanta when I was working at CNN. His name is Stephen Stafford. He was 16 years old when I met him. He was a sophomore at Morehouse. And so I said to his mom, this is more not even as an interview, just as a father with 2 sons. Well, how did you get your Black son in the Morehouse at 16 years old? And he's a sophomore. Well, she homeschooled him. Well, why'd you homeschool him? She said, I didn't believe in these schools. I didn't think that these schools were going to treat my son right. And she said, I felt like my son was gifted. What do you mean? Well, because I grew up in the slow classes. Nobody put me in gifted anything. For real. I stayed back when I was in the 3rd grade and was taking remedial reading classes up until I was in high school. There was no Dr. Steve Perry on the horizon. Right. That was not what we were working towards. I was still living in the projects, so I was a sophomore in college. So a lot of this stuff, even though I studied it, was new to me as a person, you dig? So I'm trying to figure, I'm doing some ear hustling for me as a father. Like, so how did you get your son to perform so well? So she said that I talked to mom and dad, and they said that every time they felt like their son was doing really well, they would go to the school. They went to different types of schools, neighborhood schools. They went to private school. Nobody felt like believed in their son like they did. So they pulled them up out of school. Anyway, so they tell me about this Gifted and Talented program. I said, well, how did you even know about a Gifted and Talented? Well, we found it on the internet. Well, we find everything on the internet. So I go back to my school and I say, I met this gifted child down in, whatever gift it is. I met this gifted child down in Atlanta. He can't be the last gifted black boy in the United States of America. We ain't got nothing but black Latin kids in our school. So damn it, let's roll the dice. Let's see how many we have here.
Right.
There's this test that they take. The 7% of the children who take it are found to be gifted. And that people like Lady Gaga, Mark Zuckerberg, they've all taken this test and went to this program in Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. So I connected that program, had them come up, administer the test at my school, because I didn't want anybody to say I was doing things funny, because racism is real. And so if some of my kids tested in it, I didn't want people to say I cheated.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, almost a third of our kids test into this gifted and talented program. Man. Poor Black Latin school, almost a third. So I'm like, so the first challenge that we have is I got to call parents and I got to say to them, sis, I need you to understand, your son is gifted. No, he ain't. He don't know how to put down toilet seat. No. He really is gifted. Like, it's like, that's just y'all. That's not my test. It's not my test. So sometimes even the parents didn't believe it, because we've been fed this poison for so long that we can't do well in school. They would tell me stories about, I'm bad at math. I stayed back in. Come on, sis, stop that.
That's the thing. They don't see it in themselves, so they try not to see it in their kids. And
right.
And that's a real disadvantage. It's like having a friend tell you that, you can't do something because he doesn't see it in himself. And when you're a child, you're gonna listen to your parents. And my dad told me that I was a failure. I would have grew up believing I was a failure. There's no way around that.